Hello and welcome to a new video. The time has finally come for me to read the next One Piece. I'm saying finally when I read the last one 3 days ago, but I don't know how long time it is between these videos. So for you, it's maybe finally. And I am reading One Piece Omnibus 11. We are finally, or maybe not finally, but at 31, 32, and 33. That is so far into the series. I'm like, how did I get here? It's gone so fast while simultaneously so slow. I think this is the last of the Skypiea arc, while maybe obviously a few chapters will override like in the next one, which I don't even remember the name of. Water 7, maybe? I actually don't know. Very excited to see the finals of this fight, so I'm gonna start very soon. And we are, as I said, on volume 31, which is We'll Be Here. Last time I read, things finally started to come together in my head, so I'm excited to continue where I actually understand more. So we have chapter 286, the Shandoran demon. I will let you know how it goes very soon. Okay, so we start out with like the people trying to evacuate, and like things are going to shit very fast, so they need to leave their belongings behind. And then we have Kaneru, what is his name again? Aneru, standing there like, haha, what a beautiful view, blah, 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 blah. And then we go back 400 years in time to see when Mont Blanc arrived there, the explorer, and he meets Kalgara, which is the great warrior of Shandora, which I guess is an ascendant of like the people fighting for the freedom now. And they meet, and I think they're fighting. This is when I assumed the island was still down in the sea, I think. I don't know, but we shall see. Now we are chapter 287, Kami killing. Okay, so they seem to arrive at this island and they have gotten kind of the plague, like Mont Blanc and his explorers. And they find this city of gold where they're now going to sacrifice this young lady to the gods for like the city. And then they kill the serpent that is going to eat her, which they they act like that serpent is the god. I don't know if it actually was. I'm a bit confused if the person who killed the serpent was Mont Blanc or one of the people that was there with her. I think it was Mont Blanc. It looked like Mont Blanc. And obviously they are not happy that he killed their god, I assume. So chapter 288 is cursed. So maybe they curse him for killing the god. So they want to kill him but let him live. He has a little speech about how they all seem tricked by the gods to let blood for them when they shouldn't. And then he's trying to find his tree for cure this plague thing, and then the ground starts to shake and everyone is like, oh my god, we knew we were never going to should have let him live, because now obviously they're being punished for letting him live after he killed the snake thing or the god that they fought, and the whole land is shaking. And obviously this is when I assume the Yaha Island became Skypiea. He's fighting one of the warrior dude, the one who he met earlier, and he's like, I will watch you, and then he seems angry or something. I'm a bit confused. I mean, he is angry, but I was confused if he's going to fight him or kill him. So we have chapter 289, which is full moon. So let's see how this went. Okay, so first of all, they're preparing for more human sacrifices. There was this little kid as well, and then the woman they tried to sacrifice earlier in the chapter was actually the daughter of the great warrior dude. And they said that he went after him to kill him so that the gods would be at peace again, because the ground is shaking and the plague happened. And then the Mont Blanc is stuck in quicksand, but he has struggled all day, and they're having a conversation. Another snake comes in, which is the child of the other snake that he killed, and he's like, hey, he's here for divine judgment. And now he's having this whole speech, Mont Blanc, that he came all this way looking for a tree, which gave the fever to his people as well 60 years ago, and it took hundreds of thousands of lives, this plague, but it also gives the cure. He wants to make more antidotes. When the warrior dude hears this, he actually kills the snake because it was about to take Mont Blanc, and it's you can really save my people. He's like, yes. So he actually broke a commandment as well by killing the snake that they called a god. So he did that because he thought that he could save the village. And now we're seeing them afterwards, everyone is being cured from the plague and being super happy. I'm curious of where they got these needles from, but it's okay. So people are being cured from the plague because he saved him instead of letting the snake take him, which is against his beliefs, which was interesting to see. So chapter 290 is the light of Shandora. Okay, so it goes 10 days and become the best of friends. Caligara the warrior and Mont Blanc, they become super good friends. He shows them the city of gold, And what is really protected is not the treasure, but like a plate of glyphs where it says the story of their people and that they've been there. That is the real treasure. There's this bell that is the pride of the city, which is called the Light of Shandora. And when that rings is to say that they are still here. They are still existing. And then they're super happy. We actually like past several days we're like in friendship and everyone is good friends. And then they're all like super happy again. But then suddenly they're saying that they don't want to see each other more. Like they're super like they like don't talk to us, like don't look at us even, like the people from the island. They're saying, when are the rest of you coming? And Montblanc seemed very like shocked about this because they've been like super good friends for days, and now they're saying they will leave in 3 days. And I will see like the warrior, I keep forgetting his name, Kalgara, say, I never want to see his face again. If I see him, I might just kill him. But I don't understand what they did. Did they steal like the bell? It didn't ring today or something, and they were like, that has never happened before. I didn't really understand. But like they were literally there for months being super good friends, and then suddenly they didn't want to see each other anymore. It was like they were boyfriends, and then suddenly he's like, I don't want to talk to him anymore. I don't really understand, but I guess we will find out. So now it's chapter 291. We'll be here. Not me getting goosebumps all over, getting super emotional in these random people's story. Why is it always like this? So in this, we get an explanation for why they were so angry at them. It was because the trees that they chopped down to make the cure, etc., was trees in their belief that held the souls of the ancestors. So when they cut down the trees, they basically killed the ancestors that were looking after them. And now they're super mad, and now they're leaving. And then the daughter of like the warrior dude comes and explains this to Montblanc, who's like, I understand why they're mad, we're gonna leave now. And then she goes over to the warrior dude and is like, you should say goodbye to him, you're gonna regret not saying goodbye to him, you're never gonna get a friend like this again. And then another dude explains that the trees they took down actually were already deceased and dead, and if they hadn't chopped them down, they would have like spread to all the other trees on the island, and all the trees would have died. So they kind of saved them, and then they realized this, and then the warrior dude, Kalgara, runs after him and says, Nolan, come back again. I've been waiting for you here on the island. We will keep ringing the bell for you. We will be here always, so that when you return, your boat won't get lost on the ocean. So that you won't lose your way to this island, even in a storm. We will ring the bell, waiting for you. Let's meet again, my friend. And seriously, the goosebumps is real. I always teared up. We will meet again, I promise you. But I don't think they did, because, you know, when he returned, the island was gone. Why am I wanna crying? Okay, I'm fine. Oh, I'm fine. Chapter 292, to meet like the half moon hidden by clouds. Okay, so we have Montblanc returning to his homeland, and where he tells them about like his journeys, and that he then gets permission eventually, because he tells them about the city of gold, to return to the island with soldiers, etc. When they come to the island, it's obviously gone, and he's then executed for his lies. You kind of already obviously knew this, because we're told this in the last one, but seeing it play out and actually like caring about these people is very different than like hearing a legend story. And then we have like the actual people of the island, where we see them 1 year before they actually return to the island have this huge earthquake, and they're taken up in the shush up in the sky, and they are immediately being attacked by these people, commies, that want the land, and they're trying to protect themselves against them. They say, no, we won't let them take the land. And the last thing that Montblanc thought about before he died was they hoped his friend was safe. I'm seriously tearing up. Like, seriously, thought back to their friendship while defending his friends. So now it's chapter 293, which is Bolero. So then we switch over to Viper, obviously in present day, being told the story of like the warriors and their friendship, and that they have not forgotten still. And then obviously him growing up and now seeing everything destroyed by Kami Kaneru. Everything's just going to shit. We see the whole island explode, and then they're talking about the bell and that they want to ring it, or they're going to the tower. I'm not sure if they want to ring it, but Luffy's still like running off the cliff thing to go to the ship, and he says, there's no way I'm giving you that golden bell, and Eru. And then the chapter ends. I mean, he's on his way to the fight. We just had many chapters with his flashback. That was where we sad. Great. Chapter 294, Kingdom Come. Okay, so this huge ball thing up in the air falls down and destroys the whole island. I'm a bit confused if it was like the actual whole island or just a big chunk parts of it. But they all see that this falls, and they're all really sad, obviously. Now Nami says that they need to leave. They need to go. Luffy, come on, let's go. She cut off with him. Because obviously he was a bit confused at first of what she was doing there, but then she said that Usopp and Sanji saved her. And then he says he needs to go after him. She's like, why? And he's like, I need to play the bell. I need to find a bell that is up in the sky, and I need to ring it because it was not a lie and it matters, so that people would know that it was real. People would know that El Dorado or the City of Gold was real if I played the bell. And she looks like, and I'm getting goosebumps again because he's so precious and just so good-hearted. And I love it. He was also climbing like this big beam thing that fell. Either way. Chapter 295, Giant Jack. Okay, a lot of pumped up action in this one. First, we have like Luffy trying to get up to the sky several ways. He starts to stretch out his hand on the ship, but then like it's like, I was gonna say, knocked off from Kami. He also tries to like do the scooter for Nami, but that also fails. And then we see Kami reach the bell, and it's like, ha 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 ha, I have the bell now. And Luffy obviously wants to stop him. And we see Zoro for a moment talk with the others and be like, if Luffy has decided to go and ring the bell, he's gonna ring the bell. Nothing is gonna stop him, because when he has made his mind up on something, nothing is gonna stop him. And then we see a huge new like ball of lightning come out, and this time the whole country revealed. Earlier it was only Angel Island, not the whole country. Angel Island had the way to Heaven's Gate, which was the way out of there. Right now all the ships are just standing there because they don't have a way out of there, it seems like, because that was destroyed. So now he's summoning forward like this bigger cloud, while at the same time like, ha ha ha, now I'm gonna ruin everything. They managed to send a message on a leaf to Zoro and the others, like Luffy and Nami. They need to ruin one of the big like wine thingies, or like beanstalk thingies, so that I think they're gonna ride it to like jump up in the sky to where the bell is, because it's like far up. So yeah, they say that they are the only hope for them right now, if they like manage to do what they said in the message. So we shall see if it works out. Now the volume is done. Volume 31 is done, and we're going to volume 32, which is called Love Song. Interesting title for a volume of One Piece, in my opinion. Love to see it. So we are on chapter 296, which is Ultimate Sky Situation, which it definitely is. And let's see what it has in store. So they needed to cut the beanstalk towards west so that Nami and them could ride on it. Zoro goes over the sword, swoosh, 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 and cuts it, but it does still not fall. And then one of the serpents that was there tries to help and like smashes into it. That does not help either. And then they're all really sad. And then Robin tells the story of Nolan. She says, 400 years ago, a certain explorer lied and said he'd seen a golden city in the blue sea. He's ridiculized by society, but his descendants believe his words. Even now, one of them continues to search the blue sea for El Dorado. The boy in the straw hat thinks that if he can ring the golden bell, we'll be able to tell the people that El Dorado was in the sky. Isn't that a wonderful reason? He's a romantic. And then his name must be Nolan. And then we see Violent cry. I'm getting goosebumps again. I'm being like, hearing the story. And then he rams into the beanstalk with all his power, and that helps it to tilt over. And now Nami and Luffy is riding it. Will they reach the top? I actually don't know yet, so let's see. But it was a beautiful way. Robin stabbing up. Love to see it. Chapter 297, Praise of the Earth. So Nami and Luffy were still like riding up towards like the sky. And then we see like ruins being ruined, like the ruins of the Golden City, and everyone is very sad, and they're like, the earth will let loose, and they see everything be destroyed. And then Luffy runs straight towards like the lightning cloud, and then Nami's like, not there please, but they go straight in. And then Luffy uses Gum fireworks, golden peony, and then with like crackle and like a big explosion, it looks incredible, by the way, and people are praying for them to be safe, etc. He destroys the like the lightning cloud, and Luffy looks happy, or like very amped up. Nami looks shocked, and the Kami looks not happy at all. So yeah, good work, Luffy. Very proud. And now we are on chapter 298, Love Song. Honestly, this was kind of beautiful. So we have them finally reaching the top, right? And the Kami dude is using like lots of power on him, and it's not like working. Luffy uses many new things. He's like gum this, gum that, and then it seems like the whole bell is like literally falling, or like he's holding himself with his arm and it's all twisted. I thought it was first holding the bell. No, it is falling. He's holding himself. His arm is up on the island, the other arm is on the bell, and he's dragging the bell up again. And then he used Gum Golden Rifle. He like rips the Kami a bit apart, And then I think the bell is in place again. Or maybe, wait, he's not holding the bell. He's holding the ball of lightning. Actually, I'm not sure. He was not holding the bell. He's holding like a huge ball of lightning. Yes, sorry. And then he flings that up in the air and the bell is there. So he was not holding the bell. And then clang. He manages to play it in the end. Eldorado was in the sky this all along and he wanted to prove it. And it's beautiful. It's like really beautiful. So we have chapter 299, Fantasia. It's incredible. Incredible. Okay. So the bell rung and Nolan heard it and is crying and is glad that everyone is okay. And then they're like all just basically celebrating that this sound is like a sound of love, a love song, etc. And everyone is happy and cheering and happy. And now we need to fight this dude, I think. I assume in the next chapter. Chapter 300 is Symphony. So what's going to be symphonized? That's not a word, is it? Who knows? Apparently we're not fighting because he went off in the ship and it's like, I'm going to go where the kami came from or something and just went off into the sky. But yeah, everyone in the village needs to move up to the upper island where the kamis used to live because the lower island was destroyed and they all came back and is now living there and then they're having a party and is very happy. And I'm like, okay, so we're done, right? We are done. There's not going to be more bad stuff. At least in this place. Chapter 301, I hereby guide ... I didn't even realize we were on chapter 300. Oh my god, there are so many chapters. So sweet and so fun. Okay, so they are robbing them. I think they were training with them and then like robbing them to like, I don't understand, like, yeah, but they went into the snake tummy and actually took a lot of gold there. We have Robin who actually went to the polygraph to the I was going to say that like the golden bell. There is a message there. The ancient weapon that bears the name of the god Poseidon, its location, and then ... So we can clearly see, you know, Oda like taking a lot of inspiration from the like different rural myths, which is really interesting. Like we have Jack the Beanstalk, we have Poseidon, we have Eldorado. I really love to see it actually. Then there's also a message there from the Pirate King. It says, I hereby guide this document to its end. Pirate Gold D. Roger. And then she's like, oh, he was here. I'm like, yeah, interesting. And it's like 20 years ago since he disappeared. And then they point out that Luffy's name is Monkey D. Luffy. They both have a D in their name. And they're like, oh, really curious. And then Robin also says this, she's very curious about him. And I thought about it earlier. I don't think I said it in any of this vlogs, but I'm like, I always assume maybe they have more of a connection than we have been told, but I'm not sure. And then they're like running away with the goal and waiting for Robin, who is late. And then she comes and they're like, oh my god, we need to run because like we don't want to be caught stealing. But then they're like, they want them to take the gold because they want to pay them because they're thankful. And they're like, you forgot this goal and this goal. And it's really sweet. And they're like pretending that like they're running away, even though they're kind of letting them go. So now they're going off. Chapter 302, final. Very sweet. We see first like the people of Shandora, Skypiea, whatever we want to call them, like settling into their homes and like saying goodbye, saying that they didn't even want to accept our thanks, but that they now can like stop fighting and just live and be happy, and I'm happy for them. And then we see Luffy and them be off to talk about what I want to buy with all the treasure they got, and it's like I want to get this and this and this and this, and they're very, very hyper. And then they get to the gates and then the girl, I don't remember her name again, Angel or whatever, is like, bye guys, careful with the fall. And they're like, fall, and then they go straight off a cliff in the ship and they're like, ah! And then she blows out this huge octopus that grabs the ship in his tentacles, and it's like kind of like a what's it called, a shoot. I don't remember the English word for it, but like is making their descent going okay. And now they're falling, and now they're happy and rich. The next chapter is called chapter 303, the wealthy pirate gang. For once they're wealthy, and it's really funny. Let's see. Okay, first we have like the Nolan with his monkey dudes saying that they're going on a new adventure. We don't know what. We are in like the village with Nolan, and then there's like a dude there bullying Bellamy, who was like the dude who was mean to Luffy earlier, and they are like urging up a fight. I don't know if that is relevant. That's a fight we will see later. Then we have our crew, Starheart crew, landing in the ocean. A big takes him over, and Luffy falls overboard, but they do get him up again. And then they're gonna divide the treasure, but realize that maybe they should use some of the money they have first to repairs on the ship, and then divide the rest. And then Luffy's like, well, Usopp can do the repairs, and he's like, hey, I'm the sharpshooter, not the repairman. And then Luffy says, okay, let's add a carpenter to our crew. So maybe we're gonna look for a carpenter that will be there to repair stuff. Then we go over to the Grand Line Navy headquarters, and they have their own headquarters in the Grand Line, which makes me very interested in like, why did the Navy have that map, and why was it such a big deal if they lost the map all the way in the East Blue Saga? If they just like could get a new one, maybe they didn't want pirates to get a hold of it. I don't even know. But they say that Admiral Okiji is like the most powerful in the Navy there, and then they show him like the wanted post of Luffy, and then he answers, not an honest fellow in the whole family. Interesting of how little we know about Luffy's background, actually. We know he has a brother named Ace, which was super random. And we know he grew up, and we saw him with Shanks, but like, how did he get there? Why was he all alone? We don't know. Interesting. Then we're going to the next chapter, which is 304, Long Island Adventure. So in the beginning, Oda said that this was Straw Hat Theater, which seems to be like that they wish they could have shown it in color. So the 2 next chapters are like a little short story kind of before we turn to a regular story he wrote. We arrive at an island after a bit like trying to clear up the ship, and everything is long on this island. We have like long dogs and birds and bears and horses, and he's like, there's no one here, just these animals. Everything is long. And then this huge, I think, pirate ship is there, Foxy it says, and they like locked in their ship so they can't leave. A little like diversion, like to see it sometimes, not often, but sometimes I like to see it with these people. So we have 305, which is Foxy the Silver Fox. So we meet this old man who's been living up in some bamboos for 10 years, and he can be a bit sick, maybe has food poisoning, and they're like, will you not be lonely? Because he talked about somehow like how the island moved and like the villagers disappeared and came back. I didn't think it was that important, so I didn't keep up that well. Or like, not I kept up, but I didn't understand it well. But then he sees his horse, which is like, the horse has been waiting for him all this time, and he's super happy to be reunited with his horse, and he's like riding around being super happy, and then the horse gets shot by the Foxy pirate that show up. Luffy obviously gets very, very mad at them, and they challenge them to a fight run by orthodox rules to a Tricon Davy backfight. Sorry. And he's like, sure. And they don't really know what it is. Usopp seems hesitant. So yeah, that was actually the end of that volume. We're going to volume 33, which is Davy Backfight. So I assume we're going to spend the time finding these people. I thought it was only 2 chapters of not the main story, but it seems maybe a bit more. Chapter 306, which is Donut Race. So we're just going to be silly in these chapters. It's fine. I will handle it. I love it still, obviously. This is so goofy. So basically, they challenge them to this, like, 3-con challenge, which means it's 2 challenges. And the one that loses, every time they lose, they need to swear allegiance to the captain of the other ship. So maybe they would get the carpenter this way, I was thinking. But also, like, obviously, Nami gets really worried. She's like, you don't care that we might have to change ships? And they're like, no. And, like, there's, like, an ancient rule in the sea. If the captain accepts, they have to deal with it. And Nami's like, but we don't need to follow this, right? And then Sanji and Sora says that they would rather die than live in disgrace. And I'm like, oh my god, man. At least Robin says so. So the first challenge is the donut race. We have first Usopp, Nami, and Nico Robin in that. And then there's the Groggy Ring, which is Zoro, Sanji, and Chopper. And then the last one is Combat, which is then with Luffy. So we are going to start the race, which is chapter 307, Ready, Set, Donut. We are truly getting into this. Like, we are getting a full-on race here. So apparently, like, you can from the outside, like, sabotage the race, which is what they're doing. But then Robin also uses her powers, so they're doing well. And then Usopp used like a dial thing on his hands to make him go like super fast forward, which almost, I was gonna say, ripped his arms off, but he did it. So they caught up with the other ones. But then the captain dude, or one of the other people on the other team, is like, I have thought about something evil. Because like they're on like this kind of raft thing, and like they need to row, but then obviously they're using like their powers from the outside to affect the race. So yeah, we are on 308 obstructive tactics. So we shall see how the race keeps going. This is the most chaotic race I ever had. So basically they're winning, they're losing, they're winning, they're losing. The dude that had an evil plan put up some signs where it said this way. But Nami, the navigator she is like, no, did absolutely not trust this and made them go in the right directions. I think the others were about to go through the goal, like the other team. But then I think they actually moved, like, the goal, or they moved something at least. There was a lot of like splashing and action, and everywhere is very, very intense. A lot of different things. And then suddenly one of the people on land, like the dude who put up the signs, I think, or someone put up the signs, used slow beam to slow them down because they were about to win. So we shall see. We have chapter 309, Groggy Monsters. They lost the race. He in the end used the slow thing. He had eaten a slow fruit and they lost the race. And they chose Chopper as a teammate. They wanted him all along. But I was thinking, if they win the next round, can I just choose Chopper back again? That's what I hope, at least. So now it was Sanji and Zoro's turn. But they were supposed to have Chopper with them, but now obviously they can't. And they're going into this ring. I think they're going to use one of the humans as a ball for something. And now Sanji is the ball. And then the biggest, like, monkey-like people show up and are, like, their opponents. And they're like, shit. Zoro also said to Chopper, like, get your shit together, Chopper. You chose this. Be a man. Like, literally told him to, like, stop crying when he was chosen. Great job, Zoro. Bit mean, but love to see it. Chapter 310, Groggy Ring. Let's see. Groggy is, I assume, like the big, or like what they call the ring or whatever. Okay. So first Sanji and Zoro are just arguing, obviously. And then Nami has to yell to Sanji that he looks great with a hat. So he agrees to be the ball. And I think they're supposed to fling them in like a score on the other side. The first one who does that wins. And then at first it seems like they have a lead because Sanji's like running off like the arm of like one of like the monkey people. And it's really like slippery and weird. And then they like hold Sanji and is about to throw him. But then Zoro, being Zoro, holds like their ends, like their feet, and like springs them around. And it seems like they are formidable opponents right now. And then also Sanji was like, I cannot let Zoro save me, so you're not getting hold of me. And like fights well, like one of the people holding him, which is really funny. I love the relationship. So we have 311, rough game. Okay, so apparently like the giants or monkey giants use weapons and it's not allowed. And I look over to the Reef, who's on the other team, and like pretends he doesn't see. Like he looks away every time they use a weapon. So like he's like he didn't see anything, so it didn't happen. And then like they kind of punch him, and then Zoro does get like a yellow card, or Sanji did. And it means if he gets a red one, he needs to leave the field. So they leave him be, and nothing happens. And they're getting owned. Like they can't cooperate. They're getting owned, smashed. Everyone's like, oh my god, I suck and I can't cooperate. And it's like, well, it should really be shocking. But then Zoro says in the end, hey Cook, lend me a hand for 10 seconds. And Sanji's like, that should be enough time. So they maybe just need 10 seconds to beat them. And I love that. I'm like, I love them. Chapter 312, goal. Honestly, I can't believe you're spending like a whole volume on this, but it's okay. So they work together. They're badass. Sanji uses a lot of kicks. It goes well. Zoro uses sword style stuff without his swords. It goes okay. He made one of like the giant things land on the ref because he wasn't doing anything, and then he was going to give him a red card, but then he didn't have his card anymore because Nami had stolen them. And then Robin was like, you're naughty girl. And then, well, Sanji literally grabbed him in air by his teeth and threw him in the goal. And now it is 313 main event. And everyone was really shocked on the other team that they managed to do this. Okay, so they won, and Luffy is about to call Chopper back. And then I was like, wait a moment. If you take their captain who's going to fight you next, they need to forfeit the next round, and we automatically win. And then we can take Chopper back then. So you don't need to fight. And then they're like, but then their captain needs to join our crew. And they're like, but we don't want to. So they're going to fight instead and get Chopper back. And then the captain was really like sad because he was, I was going to say, emotional. And now the battle is starting. They have like this big arena kind of place. They're going to fight each other. What is going on upstairs? That is loud and very noisy. Why is Luffy right now having an afro? But okay. Chapter 314, combat. So Luffy chose Usopp as his right-hand man, which looks really weird and funny. But either way, Luffy's fighting, but he's being a bit owned because the other person has like the slow beam thingy, keeps hitting him while Luffy cannot hit him because he's being slowed all the time. Almost fell into the ocean, but didn't. And he's like, I guess I need to think a bit more. I do hope it will be okay, but we shall see. So we have chapter 215, the secret room. So he basically fell into the shape of like the Fox Pirates, and now he can't find him and he's looking for him, and now he arrived at this room where it's like, what's behind the door? And it's like, why don't you go and find out? So yeah, they're like running around the ship, and obviously the other dude has the upper hand because this is his ship. But I think it will be okay, right? 316 Brother Soul. In that secret room, it was basically just a wall of like punching things that would punch him, I think. But then they are outside again, and the others in Star Crew talk about how he won't lose. It's Luffy after all. Blah 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 blah. And he keeps getting back up after being beaten. And then the other are like, oh, it's the power of the Afro. And like, yeah, it's Afro that gives him power. A bit weird, I think. Not like aged that well, in my opinion. But yeah, that's kind of how it ends. It just says Straw Hat Luffy gets back on his feet, and he says he won't lose a single member of my crew, even if it kills me. And then the volume ended. Not at all like thought that we would spend that long on this circus thing, because he did say like that after the 2 chapters they would get back to the main story. But maybe this became the main story then, because this develops them, and like they will maybe get a carpenter out of this. So this is the way for like Oda to give them the carpenter. I think since they will probably win, and then they would like choose like whomever is a carpenter, which is fine. But I just thought at first there would only be 2 chapters. So that's what it said, and then it wasn't. But obviously, I love seeing these characters interact and being idiots, because they are idiots. Like they just act like idiots, but in the best way. And they will prevail, and they will be fine. Skypiea was really sad to say goodbye to. The whole like dream thing, and like fulfilling one's dreams and hopes, like ringing the bell and all that. That stuff really touches me. That's where I feel like is where One Piece is the strongest for me. And I really love those parts. And I'm not all just being stupid and whooping and using their powers. Now I am done, and you shall see me soon in a new One Piece video, hopefully. Thank you so much for watching this. Leave a bell emoji down below if you enjoyed this. You should see me soon in a new video. Thank you so much for watching, and have a good day. Goodbye.